booster, platinum with a SEA. Triple diamond birthday girl, Sherry Clark. Well, she's just on the call. She's been out having some fun for her birthday, which we heard about from Jack last week. So she's going to join us after Dr. Mark's talk. So it's my pleasure to tell you a little bit about Dr. Mark this evening from my words. I've known Dr. Mark for quite a few years now, and Dr. Mark was instrumental in helping me with my brain health following a traumatic brain injury that I had many, many years ago that I didn't realise was still following me around. So he did a brain map for me, thanks to David McElveen, who we saw on the call last week. And he said to me, things were a bit slow. He could see that I'd had that traumatic brain injury, and it really was a shock because it'd been many, many years ago. And he told me to get on this stuff in blue bottles. So it took me a week or two to come to terms with it all, but I've been consuming that now for 3.5 years, and I would not be without it. So, you know, sometimes in your circle of influence, you'll find people that maybe need a little bit of help in that direction. So Dr. Mark covers that over in the US, in Florida area where he is. I do some in the UK, and David McElveen himself will cover Northern and Southern Ireland. So, you know, if you ever want a bit of information, please let us know. But as you'll hear from Dr. Mark, it is one of the most important things that we can use for our brain health as well as the rest of the body. So Dr. Mark is a brain and spinal specialist, and he's kindly given us endless hours of his time and his expertise in teaching us more about redox signaling molecules so that we can go out and share this with other people around the world. And we do have an around the world team here, brought together and trained by Sherry and Jack Clark and other leaders amongst us. So I'm going to hand over to Dr. Mark so he can begin this new journey for us. I love this system that he's going to be talking about, and you yourselves will be pleased to hear so much about it for you, your children, and all your family. So thank you, Dr. Mark. Please let us hear your lovely talk that you've got for us tonight.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here today. We are beginning a new little mini series going into the fall now, into the winter, that is going to be about supercharging our immunity. So, over the last almost 4 years now, we have presented different topics each week, all about how the body heals itself, regenerates itself, and we've spoken on immunity before on a few different occasions, but my goal is just to take some pretty complicated topics and truly simplify them for you to help us truly appreciate the wonder and awe of the human body and how resilient it can be. And our whole goal is just to educate you more on how to work with the processes of your body rather than trying to overtake them and be, have this mindset that, a substance heals us or a drug heals us. They can certainly help us maintain a vital sign or maintain some sort of level of chemistry, but it's truly the innate inhaler inside of all of us that is why we're still here, okay, and why we're here daily. And so it helps for me to hear same topics from different viewpoints to sometimes connect those dots and be able to have an aha moment that basically means I understand a little bit better now on how important this topic in my human body is. And I'm going to make better choices moving forward because of this knowledge. I mean, it all boils back down to the fact that we're the only supply sergeant for our bodies. And we have to decide what goes in and how we manage the things that we're putting into our body. And so many people just blindly walk through life with all sorts of symptoms and conditions and warning signs that something might not be right. And they're just keep masking the symptoms that come in rather than really trying to get to the root cause. So today we're going to begin. Again, this is a three-part series on immunity, and I'm going to keep them real short and simple. Okay, so we have some true things to think about. Now, we just came off of our month of gut health, and hopefully, for those of that have already seen that, you're realizing now that our gut really is the key to everything. And if we don't have good gut health, we're not going to have good brain health. We're not going to have good overall health when it boils down to it, because it really is the source of where we're getting our energy from. And unfortunately, where we're getting a lot of toxins and things that we don't really desire to have in our bodies, so they also come in from that area. So, in speaking on the truths about immunity, well, your gut is the first line of defense for so much of our immune reactions. And so, as we take better care of our guts, our immune systems are certainly going to be much stronger and have more resilience, and they're going to do better for us. So, why is this important? Well, I've had to do quite a bit of healing in my days. I've had all sorts of traumas and different things happen to me that had I not had an exceptionally strong immune system, I may not have come through with flying colors and getting my abilities back and even survived when it comes to, overcoming the physical trauma. So this was a car accident that I was in, for anybody that's new on the call tonight. And I lost a big chunk of my intestines in this process, with well as snapping my pelvis in half and a whole bunch of other injuries. And so digestion has always been super important. I've lost a third of my intestines, so it creates much quicker responses to things, good and bad, when we are not doing all of the right things. And so, having a strong immune system is going to help you be prepared for whatever life throws you. Hopefully, you'll never have to endure some of these traumas that I myself have been through and other people have as well. But before we even get started tonight, I want to just mention that we are representing a company called ASEA. This is a biotech company, and we're not intending to use this information to diagnose, treat, or cure you of anything, okay, or even prevent diseases, okay. The only thing that's going to do that is you, okay. Your body is the ultimate healer, and our whole focus is to teach you how to work better with what your body is trying to tell you and how your body works. And what you're going to experience is a whole new breakthrough in your health. And so we are going to begin our first journey into this supercharging our immunity for the rest of the month. Um, Very appropriate going into the fall. Everything's getting colder, and people usually are dealing with colds and flus and getting through to this season. So we want this to be a year, if that's you that I'm speaking to, that doesn't have any illnesses coming through during the holidays. Now, um, if you obey and do the right things for your body and for your gut, we'll teach you how to get through the holidays, being able to eat whatever you want. Um, but it's how you're eating it and how much you're eating it and the timing of which you're eating it. All of these things, they can matter. But if we get our immune system super strong, and we're going into these holidays when we're going to have more challenges face our bodies day to day, we're going to be able to overcome those challenges. Now, I think of how amazing our human body is and how we are built to have this internal army all within us. Okay. And it's defending us and keeping us alive. We think of the cells that make up our body kind of like the bricks that make up a house. The difference is the bricks don't self-replicate more bricks, and the house doesn't just actually put itself together automatically. You need actually workers and labor, and you need all sorts of things to make that happen. Now, much like the cells are the building blocks for our body, they're really unique. And it's unbelievable the fact that we could start with one cell, like one brick, and then it's intelligent enough to divide and divide and divide and to actually grow into this home without any workers, okay, without any blueprints. They're laying down new cells without seeing the blueprint of the whole body and knowing how it's where it is in relationship to everything else. We have this innate intelligence driven inside every cell to communicate to the whole, to our body, and to help us heal and repair and defend ourselves from within. So we have this incredible intelligence inside every part of our body that has its own defense system. So your immune system is very strategic and it's very coordinated and it's a self-healing army. So when we look at the logistics here, well, we have all sorts of food and things that enter our gut, and we have immune cells that are like our troops on the ground. And they are going through all of that food to make sure that there's nothing harmful entering into the building. Okay. Just like we have security checks everywhere, our immune system needs to check, disinfect, and break down whatever it can before it lets you in. Think of a security check where we stop every truck, take out all the contents of the truck, and assess to see if there's anything in here that's harmful. Okay. Sometimes our immune system's not working very good, and we just let a bunch of cars go through because they, quote, look okay. However, they could have a bomb in their trunk. They could have all sorts of things that could cause harm past that checkpoint. And if we don't have a strong troops and immune system to assess the things coming in, we are not going to be thriving and healthy. And so our brains are regulating and controlling all of these activity. So meet your army that's within you. Many of you may not realize, but almost a third of all of the cells in our body, about 30 trillion of those cells, are working as soldiers with specific missions to carry out certain tasks in the body, all in relationship to defend us. So think of the white blood cells in our body like soldiers on patrol, constantly moving around and assessing what is a threat and how can I neutralize that as quick as possible. So your body's army, it's intelligent and it's very responsive and it's tireless. It's hyper vigilant and it's always looking for a threat and neutralizing it. So our command structure looks something like this. The front line of defense is the things that we're exposed to first. Your skin, on the surface of your skin, anything that comes in contact with your skin, your immune system identifies it. It's going to immediately grab it and stick it into your lymphatic system. Your lymphatic system is just the tunnels that all lead back to the toxic waste dump called your liver. And this is going to process and disinfect anything that needs to be and then pass it along for waste removal. So it's our skin, it's our mucous membrane, and it's all of our white blood cells. And then we have some very specific types of white blood cells that are more like our special forces, like um, well, here in the US, it would be, your Navy SEALs or your Rangers. It's the elite branch of your immune system that have what we call recognition and memory of other threats that have actually come before them. And so they know exactly how to neutralize and how to deal with those. And then think of our brain as the command center of our entire military. It's directing hormones and using the nerves to coordinate all of these responses. So communication is truly everything. If we have cells, our cells are using redox molecules to be able to send instant messages to other parts of our body. So these signals can direct the immune response when we need actual healing. So when redox signals are weakened, we have what's called coordination breakdown. So think of our troops out there. If we can't keep an eye on them and be able to communicate what we see on the satellites right in front of them, they could be walking into a very dangerous situation. So it's those cell communication from our brain to the entire defense network to be able to help guide and direct the function in keeping us safe. So, what kind of things happen to us that weaken our army and don't give them that sharp response? Well, stress and cortisol are going to suppress your immune system. This is going to take a bunch of your soldiers out of play. And so we have to be mindful and careful about how we're thinking about our situations. There can definitely be a stressful side of the situation, but there's always a lighter side of the situation as well too. So processed foods and toxins, they're going to confuse your nervous system. Okay, yeah, we can pass it through us, but if it's confusing it, it doesn't know how to deal with it. And a lot of times these things will challenge your immunity. And then, of course, we're all aging. So as we age, it reduces how much redox we can produce to be able to signal. And this is going to slow down that healing process. Remember when you were young and you had a cut or a bump or a bruise, you'd heal it so fast. Now it can linger for days and days. So if we know some of the things that are weakening our army, how do we rebuild communication? Well, hydration is so key. It is our number one nutritional deficiency out there. And just restoring hydration is going to help restore some of this electrical conductivity. Think of how fast water conducts electricity. If you were sitting in the bathtub and somebody accidentally dropped a power cord of some power device in there, that electricity is going to shed through your body immediately because it's a conductor. So the more water we drink, guess what? The better signaling we have to deal with our defense systems. Now, sleep, it enables our immune system to regenerate. If we're not getting good rest, we are going to have a breakdown of signaling and we are not going to be able to regenerate. Exercise and having the right mindset will enhance how efficient you're making and using your redox. Positive attitudes produce positive results. If you're stressed out and negative, well, guess what? You're producing more cortisol, and that's going to block a lot of these signaling that we're trying to do to enhance our immunity. And of course, we now have great technology and we actually have supplements in the redox realm that can actually help us restore that clarity of signals throughout all of our cells. So here's the big takeaway, okay? You are the commander of your internal army, okay? Our key communication is clear. That means our redox strength is strong. Okay. When we don't have good redox, our ability to signal and be able to tell ourselves what's going on and tell our brain what we need, it's our ability to detect and correct any problems in any of our tissues. We need these signaling molecules to do that. And we are in charge of whether we're living a life that's promoting that or whether it's taking away or insulting ourselves. Now, we've talked a lot about things that we can do to add potential and things that we do to take away um, potential. But how about we're helping the cells or we're insulting the cells with some of our behaviors? That was a new mindset that I've heard recently, and it made a whole lot more sense to me. I mean, nobody likes to be insulted. If you had a group chat with some new friends of yours and one of them insulted you, you'd be like, I'm done. You're out. Cancel out of the chat. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Well, if we have 100 trillion cells and we're doing things that insult them, how long are they going to keep working well? They don't like to be insulted. So, again, it's just another takeaway of things. Hey, is this helping my cells or is it going to offend them? Is it going to insult them? Is it going to interfere with our cells? So now we have this amazing product. It's called redox signaling molecules. It's native to the body. It's bioidentical. It's exactly what our body makes to detect, defend, and repair our cells. So it's fleeting. Like the ones our body makes are used up instantly. And now we have a molecule that is bioidentical to those. So we don't have to digest it. We don't have to break it down. It's just like, wow, what are you doing here? You had a job to do over there. And so it immediately sends it on its direction. These are the molecules that literally drive the function of every single cell in your body. Without these redox molecules, without that cell's ability to signal, Nothing else really happens. Your cells are literally signaling your brain 400 million bits of data a second. And the very next second, your brain answers the cry to those signals and says, oh, here's the chemical reactions to fix your cry, like whatever's wrong with you. It makes 65 quadrillion chemical reactions in the dark the very next second. And so if the chemistry's off, it's going to lead to actual physical problems in our body. So it all goes back to signaling. When we put the proper signaling in, guess what? Our body can make the proper chemistry. And if the chemistry is proper, we can make the healthy cells. But when any of those are out, it's the breakdown of communication. We can't make the healthy cell, we can't defend it, and everything else starts to be compromised by that. So it's these cellular messengers and activators that are responsible for doing almost all functions in our body. And it's so amazing because this is truly the initial root cause of, or the root solution to healing is it begins within the cell. We heal from the inside out. We make these molecules more when we're damaged and less when we're not. But over the age of time, we don't make as many. So even when we need more, we may not have enough. And in most cases, we don't. Hence why we're having some kind of cellular crisis. Now, they also make a gel of this amazing product, and it's twice as strong as the liquid in and of itself. So when we put the proper signaling anywhere on the skin, this is called Renew 28 because it gets below the skin where all your blood is. That's going to take it places in your body, but it also, that's where you're building the next layer of skin. So when you have more potential in the skin and in these areas, your body can make a better version of itself. Think of redox like a copy machine. And when you're ready to make a copy of this cell because its lifespan has reached the end, we can make more copies if we had more redox. I want to make a few hundred, or I want to make a few billion and make the cleanest one out of that. So what I'm basically saying is your body is constantly remodeling itself, whether you choose to do it or not. And now we can choose how we want it to remodel, better or worse based on our lifestyle. So here's some examples of many people that had different issues. Now, yes, these are skin issues and your skin replaces it every 28 days. So we can see that within 28 days, the body got better signaling to explain, oh, we have a rash. We have some elasticity that's weakened. We have scars. We have burns. We have cuts. We have all sorts of different ailments that happens when our immune system can't keep up with the damage that's happening and replace a better version than the last. So we have some scars we've carried our entire life because our immune system can only keep me alive is not helping me thrive. Okay, you need to have a bunch more potential to be able to get to the thrive side. So here's some examples just within 28 days. Scars from acne have found a better version of those tissues, okay? Just because you had a scar or a toxin or an injury doesn't mean that you have to always have that the rest of your life. We're dynamic and we're self-healing and we heal from within. So it's just a matter of time doing the right things that our body can produce a better version of ourselves. And so this product was clinically tested by 2 different companies. And what they found is a 20% improvement in all aspects of your skin within just 4 weeks. So it's not just for skin, it can get into your joints with the fluids of your joints are healing the joint. We don't get blood flow there, we need redox there. So these were based off just a 4-week study. And then the liquid, it is amazing in and of itself. And this study was a gene study that was done, and they had wanted to figure out if this redox molecules actually change gene expression. It takes a lot to change a gene expression. You have to have poor behaviors for a long time or right behaviors for a long time in order to make any kind of significant change. And so they had 60 participants in the study. 25 of them were given redox signaling molecules, and 25 of them were given saline, which was the beginning product of the purest, cleanest saline that we use to make redox signaling molecules. We break it all down and stabilize it. And then the third group of 10 didn't do anything. They just had their blood work done before and after to check for any change in gene expression. The fascinating thing was the ones that took the ASEA redox had some significant changes, and to the tune of 20 to 31% positive change in gene expression. And it wasn't just the gene itself. And we're talking 5 different genes they looked at, one of them being immune system pathway. Other ones were vascular, digestion, hormone, and inflammation. But regardless, it didn't just improve the gene expression, it actually helped improve over 15 different pathways that that gene leads to. So it creates this cascading effect. Now, here's the great takeaway. The group of 25 that did the saline and the group that did nothing, all of them had zero effect of change in gene expression in every category. So the p-value here is a 0.05, which means that only a less than 5% chance that any of these findings could be random. Okay, and then when you take out the placebo-controlled double-blind aspect, those ratios get even higher because nobody in either of the other 2 ratios had any genetic change in their pathways at all. So this is an absolutely amazing product. It's going to improve your gene pathway. It's going to help signaling so your body can respond better to the threats. And it's going to basically help that internal army run like they got brand new software to communicate with each other. They got a new and improved web design or better walkie-talkies or satellite phones that never lose the signal. It's like we're able to communicate to our army better and help us maintain a much better quality of life, reactive immediately to threats in the body, dealing with them before they have any time to run havoc on that. So next week, we're going to be going into a real deeper dive on this whole redox revolution. What are these signals and how do they spark life? And what does that mean for my immune system? So thank you so much for joining us today.